Hello Libra. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using this deck. I lost the box though, so if you know the name of the deck, let me know and I'll put it in the description. For the Oracle cards, Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards. That's the box. And it's created by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen. There's her last name, so I don't have to butcher it too badly. Libra. Libra, Libra, Libra. That's interesting. There's one card. Alright, we're going to put that there. Face down. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's it. Okay. So Libra, this seems like it might be, I don't know if this is good or bad, to tell you the truth. The energy is a little interesting. Because when you're coming into it, I'm noticing you have the prayer card. Which, when I feel this, it's kind of like, or how I look at prayer anyways, like praying is good, I believe in that. But I also feel like actively trying to help something move forward at the same time is good. Like if you want your money situation to get better, praying for it is good. Working towards it at the same time is it's actually necessary. And then you can have that energy come in. And when I'm feeling this, it's like you're trying to get things to work out. You're trying to work towards it. The situation is kind of like, it's kind of like having a pitcher full of lemon. And you're like, I gotta find my sugar. I gotta find some sweetener. If I don't have sugar, what other sweetener can I put in this? Like, what could temper this down and make it less sour? What would actually work? But you're actively trying to make a situation better, but I'm getting the lemon feel really strong. Like the situation, it's only going to be so sweet. Either way, it's going to be lemon. It's going to be a lemon, like it's going to have its tartness. It's almost like it's not even lemonade. It's just like a pitcher full of lemon, and you're like, you can put a bit of sugar with it, but it's going to have a very strong lemon flavor anyway. That's how this is feeling. I know that might sound strange, but it's kind of like hoping for the better, trying to make things better, but the situation is what it is. And the Five of Staffs reversed is like you're doing your best to keep people from going at each other. You're trying to keep peace. The Five of Staves reversed in this situation is like that's what you're working towards. Like there's some very tart energy here. Very tart energy, and you're trying to keep the peace the best way you can. You're trying to keep people apart, trying to move things around, trying to just calm people down. I feel like you're running around trying to calm people down. That's what I really think is going on here. Enlightenment's going on in the situation. People are helping you with this. This is not bad. This might look bad. Trickery is in the environment with the Enlightenment. It's a double-edged sword. It's like some people are helping you, and it's almost like they're helping you and they're just kind of getting their own benefit out of helping you. Other people are kind of giving you that shameful look, like they're giving you a hard time about it, yet they're not really. The trickery there is telling me they see it, and they might even kind of be calling you out on it a little bit, kind of like they don't like the way you're doing it. They don't like the way you're trying to help keep the peace, but they're not stopping you at the same time. So there's a little stress with that. I almost feel like they're kind of like. I almost feel like somebody's kind of looking down at you they're kind of looking down at you. Meanwhile, they're not stopping you at the same time. They're not calling anything out, and they're getting the benefit of this enlightenment, of this peacemaking time too. I'm getting this weird feeling like somebody's looking down on you, and I'm kind of like, that's not right. Like if they're, it's a weird energy. It's just kind of like I see what you're doing. And they're just kind of like scoffing at you a little bit. Meanwhile, they're enjoying the benefits of this more peaceful atmosphere at the same time. It's a bit hypocritical in my opinion. Okay, so as we keep moving forward, things seem to be going as well as they're gonna. Yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little dicey. There's a lot of energy coming in, but your face down card is workaholic. you might be getting away from this for a while by legitimately doing something else that needs to be done. Especially, I feel like somebody's looking down on you again, and it's kind of like, oh, I can't deal with this. And I feel like you're doing something else. I feel like you're taking a break from the situation. You got workaholic face down. It's like you're getting involved with something else that's legitimately something you need to do. So nobody can really call you out or say, oh, where were you? Nobody can say that because you did something that needed to be done. It was necessary to be done. And I feel like it's serving you. Whatever you're getting done or getting involved with, it's like it's helping your nerves. It's calming the situation. It's giving you a break. You need one. It's fine. It's nothing to feel bad about. It's getting you away from this hypocritic energy here. I don't know what that is. That's weird. The joy card is here in the environment, instinct and impartiality. All three of these, they're kind of like sliding one into the next. Like joy is sliding into instinct, is sliding into impartiality. Impartiality, I think, is a good Libra card because that speaks of balance a lot of times. But it's also sometimes I've noticed like the omission of emotion sometimes, which can create an imbalance. So that's kind of weird how this card comes off because it almost seems like it does that. Well, let's keep going with it. But I'm feeling like people are doing what they need to do. They're doing what they feel like is necessary. Like it's just like this is the right thing to do. They're doing what they normally would do. It's a weird energy. Impartiality is just kind of like everything seems to be going through fairly. I feel like when I'm seeing that in the environment, you might be actually looking at like however it's panning out is fine. Like for what's involved, for the type of people that are involved, it's just like that's fine. I'm not gonna get involved in that. It's fine. Like, it's almost like, you sleep with wolves, you get bit. I don't know where that came from. Is that a saying? No, I don't think that's the way I wanted to say that. You sleep with vipers, you get bit. I think that's how that's supposed to go. You sleep with vipers, you get bit. I think that's how that goes. So I feel like you're just letting it be. You're just kind of like, let them deal with what they are who they are. That's what it is. And you're just kind of like, yeah, that is what it is. You're coming back into this situation, I'm noticing. Some people are being very possessive. That seems to be dipping down in the environment. There is some recovery here. People are trying to hold on to what they want. People are trying to hold on to what they think is right. You're giving some information here. You're helping people move forward. Even though things are moving forward, you're still kind of coming up against this energy where like, yeah, though that may be true, but I did this, and this is for me, and I'm keeping this because I made this. I'm getting some of that energy with the Four of Pentacles. Like, you're getting some resistance where people are like, no, this is mine. I worked for this, and I'm keeping this. I'm like, this isn't a charity. This is mine. And recovery on your side is kind of like you're giving more information. I feel like when you re-enter the situation, you're showing what you're seeing. You're saying what you're seeing. You're helping evolve this to the next situation, to the next level. Ironically, when you get back involved, people get a little frazzled because people are getting what they wanted out of the situation. Fair or not, they wanted what they wanted. They were getting what they wanted. And when you come back in and you're like, hey, but this is how this should work out. This is what I'm seeing, and that's how that would fairly balance. I think we should do this differently. And you have like the faith is on your side. Like, it just needs a second here to actually start going the right way. I'm noticing faith on your side is more of like a trying to help people figure out where it goes next. Also realizing that like something isn't right here. The faith on your side is kind of like something's not right here. We need to kind of reevaluate what's happening and realign things. Something isn't quite right. You can just tell that things aren't right. And I feel like you're saying, like, I'm seeing, like, this is, how come everything's over to the one side here? Why are all these things over here? That doesn't make sense. Like, half this room is empty. Why is half this room empty? That's where you're coming in and you're, like, saying, hey, I don't understand why this is like this. And other people are really kind of frazzled because they were getting out of this situation what they wanted. And they're like, no, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. And when you're calling it out, they're getting really frazzled about it. They're like, hey, no, that's mine. Stay away from my stuff. In which you kind of are like, well, no, that's the company stuff, so you can't just have all that over there. And you're kind of like telling other people, like, this isn't right. That's like, just because there's 5 staplers, they can't use 5 staplers. Why do they have 5 staplers over there? Why are they hoarding these 5 staplers? That makes no sense. they can't be utilized, they can't be used. That makes no sense. It's kind of like one of those things. Like, have you ever worked with somebody like that? Like, they hoard like a bunch of tape or a bunch of this and a bunch of that, and you're like, you can't even use all that. Like, that wasn't put in the stock room for you to hoard it. That was meant to be used as it was needed, not for you to hoard it. And that's what some people do that. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like this is a hoarder. I feel like this is a hoarder, and you're like, that's a hoarder. That makes no sense. They're just gonna sit on that, and then what? It'll never get used. They're hope just in case they need it. Like, you're pointing it out. Like, that's a hoarding situation. That's not right. A lot was coming in with that, because it takes a lot to actually get into it. I don't feel like you figure that out in 2 seconds. I feel like you're kind of noticing it, and you're talking with other people, and other people are helping you bring this forward. And there's this resistance here you have to deal with, and that might cause a little bit of an issue, because this person gets very frazzled. Could be more than one person, and they don't want to give up what they've banked. That's quite the situation, is what I'm getting. Okay, so I feel like this has to be talked out. It's almost, again, like half the stuff is all on one side of the room, and you're like, this makes no sense. This makes no sense. Let's take that. Let's redistribute that. Let's take those 5 staplers and give those to 5 different people so they can actually use them. How about that? How about we use them for what they're intended for, and not just hold them to the side for a possibility? Let's actually use them. And I'm getting acceptance with passion is kind of like, you make your point to the right people, things are getting sorted out. Things are getting sorted out. They're just going to say things are getting sorted out. I don't know exactly if that's going to be a balance moment or not. They're getting sorted out. It's in progress. So you come back into it and you're like, come on, 5 staplers? Why? Come on. And somebody else might be like actually sort it out. I don't think you're going to be the one doing it. I mean, you know, general read, grain of salt, all that good stuff. But it's kind of like, listen, that's a hoarding situation. That's not helping anybody. All right. What comes next? It starts to get sorted out, literally. 5 of Cups reversed. I like the 5 of Cups reversed. That to me is more like, this is pessimistic, this is optimistic. That's how I view it. And I feel like things are going better. Things are getting a lot better. Things are not perfect. I think this is why we're using things are getting sorted out instead of balanced. Things are not perfect, but they're going better. You're seeing like an upswing. Like, you had to get back involved with this situation. The annoyances you were looking at before are still there. Still there. It kind of reminds me like of a manager I worked with years ago. And she wasn't my direct manager, but she had a chip on her shoulder. Just anytime she entered the room, we were just like, oh, for the love of Pete, we're going to have an attitude today. Not that her gender mattered, I just remember her specifically. Because there was definitely enough males that had the same attitude. But it was just like when she entered the room, you could feel it. You could feel it getting ready to happen. And that's what I'm feeling with this. Now, how is this ending? Even though it's sorting out, I almost feel like that might be a never-ending story. And you probably realize that. The way this is going is literally completion with the 4 of Swords reversed. I'm getting like... I'm getting it's like the release of a block. That's what I feel with the 4 of Swords reversed. Like the release of a block. I feel like things are going to sort out the way they need to sort out. Okay? And I'm noticing you have the Sun card reversed on your side. The way things actually finally pan out here, and they start to restabilize, the way they stabilize is not your first choice. I think that's the best way to say it, but it's still good. Like, this card is like, either way it's good, but like I gave this analogy earlier in a different reading. It's kind of like looking at memories and photos, and like instead of them being crisp and clear and in color, the reverse of this is kind of like looking at them in like a sepia color, and some of it's blurry, and you can't make out this, you can't make out that, but the majority of it's still there. You're happy with the memories, you're enjoying the memories. They're just not as crisp and clear as you would have liked them to be. You know what I mean? That's the difference. It's still good. It's just not ideal for what you wanted it to be, but it's still good. I'm getting like somebody else is sorting this out. You're probably not completely happy with how it's going to be sorted out, but I'm also getting like blocks are lifted, things are being changed. This segment of the situation will come to an end. Whatever the problem is here, somebody else is taking care of it. There might be more of a harsh feeling to this than you really wanted to happen. But I feel like it's basically saying at least it's being solved. At least it's being taken care of. It will work itself out. I feel like they're just like giving you a heads up. This isn't going to work out completely to your liking, but you're going to look at it kind of like, well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's going to be one of those endings. Like, yeah, that's okay. I understand how that worked out. Like, yeah, I guess that's how that's going to work out. It's not exactly the way you wanted it to work out, but yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I understand. That makes sense. It's a weird ending, in my opinion. The Sun card reversed. Like, that's an interesting ending. Like, you're not unhappy, but you're like, that could not the ending I wanted, but still good. It's one of those. It's like watching a really good movie, and at the end you're like, well, the ending was fine. Not exactly what I wanted, but it was still good. That's how it feels to me. All right, I'm going to stop beating it to death. Let me shut it down here. Okay. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.